Hi guys, it's Jake here from Canadian Cutting Edge, and today I want to take a look at a folding knife that's been around for a long time, since the last decade at least, the KA-BAR Dozier by Bob Dozier. This design, I couldn't find the date that it came out, but it was definitely 2010 or earlier. It's been around for quite a while. It is a nice backlock. Some people say this is the epitome of an EDC. If you carry this to EDC, you've got, something that's just, the standard for a low-cost EDC, emphasizing low cost. Come on down to the tabletop. I really want to take a good look at this. I've had this knife for a while, and I think today's the right time for me to do this review. I'll just take another sip of my coffee, and we'll get started. All right, I've got my fingerprints all over the blade of this knife. I've been playing with it this morning while I've been updating my emails and checking out different things, preparing to do this video. Let's start with, I've already covered the details slightly, but as it says right there on the blade, this is a Dozier design by Bob Dozier. Some people say Dozier. I'm not sure which way he says it. Of course, the way the person with the name says it would be the right way. So if somebody could correct me on that. I like to say names properly, but I usually get them wrong. The knife is being produced by KA-BAR, and it's been around for a while, as I said. You've got their logo on the blade and also right there on the Zytel handle. It's a backlock design, very straightforward, well-made 3-inch knife. It's for some people, this is the standard that you want to compare a good 3-inch low-cost EDC against. If it does well against this knife, it's going to be pretty decent. A few of the specs before we get too far ahead of ourselves. 2.3 ounces for this knife. That's 65 grams. You've got 7 1/4 inches all the way across when it's open, and when it's closed, you've got 4 1/4 inches. And I've already mentioned that the blade is 3 inches. That's 3 inches is 7.6 centimeters. This is an AUS 8A steel. I have heard that this knife has been available in some limited runs with D2 steel. If somebody out there has one of these with D2 steel and you're looking to sell or trade it, I'm interested. Seriously, I'm interested. The cutting edge on this knife, the final grind there, is done at 15 degrees. That's per side, so 30 degree, depending on how you say how the sharpness, the angle of the knife is. This AUS 8A steel is hardened to a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. Nice hollow grind all the way up. You can call it a drop point. Some people call this a hunter point. I've seen that on a lot of the websites, like Knife Center. When they talk about this knife, they call it a hunter point. And I don't know, I've been around knives for an awful long time, but I'm not a hunter, so I haven't really heard that term hunter point before for just, your simple drop point. It's sort of equal on both sides, so some people might even call this a spear point. I don't know. But it is what that is. The handle, Zytel, with the only metal in it is the backlock back inside there, and the pins holding it together. The Zytel is pretty good. I guess you've got the metal clip as well, and the screws for that. And there you go. That's the overview of the knife. You can get these handles, you can get the blade either coated or non-coated. This one's just satin. And there is also a clip point design that has a hole instead of a thumb stud. Same size, same 3 inches. Everything else is the same, except for the blade design is a little bit different. $20 US. You can find it all over the place at $20 US. And in Canada, you can find it for $30 at Amazon.ca and some other places. You don't need to pay more than $30 Canadian for this knife. I think I mentioned at Gideon's Tactical. If you haven't heard of that YouTube channel, you got to check it out. Most of you, I'm very sure you've heard of him. I think I mentioned it before. He calls this the best $20 EDC on the market. And he's been saying that for years about this knife. Now that we've covered all the details and stuff, I was going to talk about the colors. Green, pink, blue, orange, tan, gray, black, all kinds of Zytel colors. And you can get those in satin or coated. Now let's talk about how well this thing, before we talk about how well it performs, your thumb stud. It's a one-side thumb stud, but no worries to the rest of my lefty friends. Check that out. You've got your torque screw right there. You can take that thumb stud off easily and put it on the other side for your lefty deployment. So, yeah, I like that because they didn't need to do studs on either side because they made it easy for us to change it ourselves. How well does this thing perform? Gideon's Tactical might say this is the best thing going. I don't have an awful lot of OS 8A knives. It cuts simple plastic pretty easy, that's for sure. No problem there. How does it do against cabling? This is a simple electronics cable for computer mouse. You've seen this on some other videos. Goes through that, no problem at all. And it goes through that, no problem at all. That way as well, just slices through it like it's butter. Okay, let's try a few layers of let's make this a little bit longer. Paracord. Can it cut 4 layers at once? Let's take a look. Let's get them through there. Oh, that's very easy. That cut better than most of my really simple cuts, easy cuts that I did with my other knives, like my Ganzo knives and other things. Let's get these together here. 3 at a time, no problem. This knife just, it just cuts. It's a good knife. And I'm ruining the wood here because I'm pushing into it a lot. It works really well. And so even after cutting on that part of the blade right there, let's see how good it does on some other paper. And that's a regular, just old push cut. And I'm trying to cut right with that part of the blade that I was using before. And you can see that cut there. That's nice and clean. Really, really good. And like I said, I bought this knife in June. I've been carrying it, EDCing it off and on, using it for, variety of cutting things, packages, cardboard, what have you. And I really like it. I think there's something to that. This is, I think the way I'm going to say it is this is probably the best American branded knife from an American company at $20 to EDC. For you guys that are looking for a light knife, definitely. I don't mind a heavy knife, but this light is good too. The only real beef I have with it, and I'm not even sure it's a beef, is how aggressive the Zytel is in relation to the pocket clip. It holds my pocket firmer than I'd like it to. So I'm just going to train the clip back by, stressing it off a bit and making it just a little bit looser. Out of the box, it's just a little bit too tight for me. It's really ripping on my pocket. I don't always wear jeans. I often wear pants that are, a little bit lighter, not quite as durable as jeans. And so I'd like that pocket clip to be a little bit looser. I'd like that pocket clip if it was a little deeper carry. Those two main things that I don't like are just to do with the pocket clip. Everything else about it, I really like. The feel in the hand when you're using it. It takes a long time for your hand to get tired. The jimping on the blade there is perfect. You can just keep going and going and going, and your fingertips as you hold the knife always have a load of traction right there. And unlike a lot of Zytel knives, this inside edge does not give you a hot edge on your hand. A lot of these Zytel knives, I hold them, and wherever this line touches my skin in my hand, it gets hot after a while. It hurts, and it makes me want to stop using the knife for a while and take a break. Not so with this knife, and so they've done a really good job with softening that edge just enough to make it very functional. The lock back is perfect on it. It is perfectly centered. The lock back works every time, so it's easy to close the knife. The lock back hasn't even come close to failing. There's no side-to-side play, really. There's very slight movement. That's just because Zytel is weaker than steel, so it doesn't have steel liners, so it can move a little bit. There's a bit flexing there. Up and down, there's nothing. Just a little bit of that side-to-side movement. So because there's no up and down, shows you that they've made that back lock fit very, very well. So this is the KA-BAR Dozier, model number 4062, if that helps you look for it. Made in Taiwan, AUS 8A steel, 3-inch wonder. Again, if you know of where I can get one of these with D2 steel, I'd really like to know. So there you go. If you liked the video, please hit like, share it with your friends. I know this knife's been around for a long time, but there's still always people joining the knife hobby who might not know about it. And thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that a lot. And always remember, cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Have a good day. Bye now.